expression, "one good deed deserves another." What do you think it means? Yes, of course, I'm sure most of you know that it simply means when someone does a good deed to help you out in time of trouble, then it's only right and fair that when the opportunity arises, that you in turn do a good deed for that person to help them out. Has that ever happened to you, where someone helped you when you were in trouble and then later on you helped them? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Today's tale is a folk tale from Korea about a young boy whose kindness to others is repaid when he finds himself in trouble. Before we begin, a huge thanks to Benji, who recently sent me this lovely note. My name is Benji. My favourite story on your podcast is The Monster That Grew Small. My next favourite story is The Three Dancing Princesses. I've got a sister called Lydia and a brother called Dan. Bye. I love you, Benjamin. Oh, thank you, Benji, for telling us what your favourite stories are. We love to hear from our listeners. You can always contact us at www.journeywithstory.com. Click on the contact and download your drawings there, or just send us a note. Remember, mums and dads, if you want to get some colouring sheets for your little listeners to accompany our episodes, just subscribe to our free monthly newsletter at www.journeywithstory.com. We will also be offering other freebies and goodies to our newsletter subscribers in the coming months, so please subscribe today. Now, let's take a journey with the Great Flood. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a handsome boy named Tall Tree. He was called this because his father was a tree so tall that it almost reached the sky. His mother was a celestial being, a beautiful creature from heaven who came down to earth from time to time. She often used to rest in the shade of the tall tree. In time, she became the tree's wife and bore a healthy boy child who became the tall tree of this story. When Tall Tree was about 8 years old, his mother left him beside his father, the great Tall Tree, and returned to her home in the heavens. One day a terrible storm arose suddenly. For days on end, the rains poured down on earth until all the ground was underwater. Soon, mountainous waves began sweeping toward the tall tree, the father of the young boy. Father Tree became alarmed. He called to his child and said, "I shall soon be uprooted by this terrible storm. When I fall, you must climb into my branches and perch on my back. Otherwise, you will be drowned." The storm became more and more violent. Lashed by screaming winds, great waves thundered against the trunk of the tree. Then came the fiercest gust of all, and the kingly tree fell with a crash. Quickly the boy climbed on his father's back and held tightly to the branches. The great tree floated on the rushing waters. For days and days it drifted on and on, at the mercy of the angry waves. One day they came upon a great number of ants struggling in the water. The poor ants, on the point of drowning, cried, "Save us! Save us!" Tall Tree felt sorry for them and asked his father, "Shall we save the ants?" "Yes," his father replied. "Climb up on my father's back," Tall Tree called to the ants, "and you will be saved. Hurry, hurry!" Tall Tree helped the tired and weary ants get up out of the wind-whipped water onto the tree. The ants, of course, were very happy to be saved. Soon a great cloud of mosquitoes came flying through the storm. They too were weary, for nowhere was there any place to land and rest their tired wings. "Help! Help!" the mosquitoes buzzed. Again, Tall Tree asked, "Father, shall we save the mosquitoes?" "Yes," his father replied. So Tall Tree helped the tired mosquitoes alight on the leaves and branches of his father's back. The mosquitoes were also very grateful to be saved from the storm. As Tall Tree and his father and the ants and the mosquitoes drifted along, they heard the cry of a child. In the waves they saw a boy about the same age as Tall Tree. "Save me! Save me!" cried the boy. Tall Tree felt sorry for the boy. "Let's save the boy too." But this time his father did not answer. Again the cries of the boy came pitifully across the raging waters, and again Tall Tree said, "Please, father, let's save that boy." Still there was no answer from Father Tree. Tall Tree pleaded with his father a third time. "Father, we must save that poor boy." The father finally answered, "Do as you wish. I leave it up to you." Tall Tree was overjoyed and called to the boy to come and climb up onto his father's back. So the boy was saved too. After a very long time, the Father Tree, Tall Tree, the ants, the mosquitoes, and the boy who had been saved from the waves came to an island. It was the peak of the highest mountain in that country. A mountain as high as Pike too. The mountain with a white head, so called because the snow never melted from its crest. As soon as the tree reached the island, the ants and the mosquitoes thanked Tall Tree and took their departure. The two boys were very hungry, for they had not eaten for many days. They wandered over the island searching for food and finally came upon a small straw-thatched hut. "Please give us some food," the boys cried out. An old woman and two young girls came out. They welcomed the boys into the house and gave them food. One of the girls was the daughter of the old woman, and the other was the child of her neighbour. The great flood and storm had destroyed everything on earth except this little island. The only people left in the world were the two boys, the old woman, and the two girls. There was no other place where the boys could stay, so from that day on, they lived with the old woman, working for her as servants. It was a peaceful life. The days slipped into weeks, the weeks into months, and the months into years. And the boys grew into strong, fine youths. As the old woman watched the boys grow into manhood, she thought to herself, "They will make fine husbands for my two girls." One day she told the two boys, "Whichever of you is the more skilled shall have my own daughter for his wife, and the other shall have my neighbour's girl." Now, the old woman's own daughter was very much the more beautiful of the two girls, and the boy, who had been saved by Tall Tree during the flood, wanted very much to marry her. He thought of a way to get her as his own wife. "Grandma," he said, "Tall Tree has a strange power which none of the rest of us has. For example, you can mix a whole sack of millet in a pile of sand, and he can have the millet and the sand separated in no time. Let him try it and show you." The old woman was surprised to hear this. "Is that so?" she said. "Come, Tall Tree, let me see if you really can do this amazing thing." Tall Tree knew he was being tricked. He knew he certainly could do no such thing, and he knew the other youth was planning to get him into trouble, so he refused. But the old woman was adamant. She was determined that Tall Tree should show her his strange and amazing power. "If you don't do it, or if you can't do it, I won't let you marry my daughter," the old woman said. Tall Tree saw that he could not escape, and he sighed. "Very well then," he said, "I'll try." The old woman emptied a sack of millet into a pile of sand and thoroughly mixed them up together. Then she left, saying she would return in a short while to see how he was getting on. Tall Tree gazed hopelessly at the pile of millet and sand. What was he to do? It was not humanly possible to sort the millet from the sand. Suddenly, Tall Tree felt something bite his heel. He looked down, and there he saw a very large ant. "What is troubling you,
Tall Tree?"
the ant asked. "I suppose you no longer remember me, but I am one of the ants you saved a long time ago in the flood. Let me help. Tell me, what is the matter?" Tall Tree told the ant how he must separate the millet from the sand, or else he would not be able to marry the old woman's daughter. "Is that all the trouble? Then your worries are over. Just leave it to me." No sooner had the ant said this than a great mass of ants came swarming from all over the place. They attacked the huge pile of sand and millet, each ant carrying a millet grain in its mouth and putting it into the sack placed nearby. Back and forth the ants hurried. In a twinkling of an eye, all the millet was back in the sack. When the old woman came back, she was amazed to find that Tall Tree had finished an impossible task in so short a time. The other youth was surprised too, and annoyed that his trick had failed. But he still wished to marry the old woman's daughter, and he pleaded with her, "Please let me marry your child." The old woman hesitated. She thought for a moment and replied, "You are both very dear to me. I must be absolutely fair. Tonight will be a moonless night. I shall put my daughter and my neighbour's daughter each in a separate room. One will be in the east room, and the other in the west room. You two will stay outside, and when I say 'ready,' you will both come into the house and go to the room of your choice. The girl you find there will be your bride. I'm sure this is the best and fairest plan." That night, the two youths waited outside for the old woman's command. Suddenly, Tall Tree heard a mosquito flying close to his ear. "Buzz, buzz," said the mosquito in a little voice. "Tall Tree, you must go to the east room. Zzz. Remember, it is the east room. Zzz." Tall Tree was overjoyed to hear this. He felt sure the mosquito was one he had saved during the flood. "Ready!" the old woman cried out. The two boys went into the house. While the other boy was still hesitating, Tall Tree went straight to the east room. And there he found the good and beautiful daughter of the old woman. She became his wife. The other youth could not complain, so he took the other girl for his wife. Both couples were very, very happy. They had many, many children, and they lived happily ever after. In time, their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren spread throughout the world. And again, the earth was filled with people. Can you think of any other tales that are similar to this, where one good deed is repaid with another good deed? There are many, many such stories from all around the world. I wonder, though, maybe you could try writing your own story about this topic, where someone helps another person out and is rewarded later on by that person's kindness. And if this story painted some images in your mind, do get busy drawing and send us your masterpieces at www.journeywithstory.com. Just click on the contact button and download it there. Mums and dads, if you're enjoying this podcast, can you please take a moment, if you've not already done so, to rate and review it, and share it with a friend or a family member who might also enjoy it. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.